Brooklyn is one of the 5 boroughs built of different cultures. We're spread out culturally everywhere. Growing up for me, I would spend some of my holidays at my grandmother's house on Sterling Street in Prospect Lefferts Gardens. Here we are at 51 Rutland Road. Built at 1901, this townhouse sits on a tree-lined block in the historic Brooklyn district. Beautifully laid out of 6 bedrooms, 3 full baths, and 6 fireplaces, you have ample space for you and your family to entertain. Prospect Lefferts Gardens, now known as PLG, is such a beautiful area. Tree landscape blocks, limestone fronts, and at arm's reach from Prospect Park. No wonder why my childhood of red light, green light, and manhunt was a breeze. As the holiday slowly appears, you can't miss out on grabbing a fresh pastry from Allan's Bakery, located at 1109 Nostrand Avenue. Allan's Bakery is a family-owned business famously known for their currant rolls. All right, so tell us a little bit about Allan's Bakery.
Yeah, my grandparents started it in the late 50s. It actually started from their apartment. It was just one residential oven. They were baking for some friends in the community, and they started out baking for cricket games. And then eventually, just through feedback from the community, friends, family, they told them that they should start baking in a more commercial way. So that's when they opened up their first bakery right under the apartment that they actually lived in Weeksville, New York, right here in Brooklyn. Eventually, in 1961, they ended up moving here. So they moved here in the 60s. It started off with just the one location. But in the 50s, it started off just from selling in their station wagon at the cricket games. So they'd actually pack it up with their hard dough breads, their currant rolls, any other pastries that they had at the time. And then eventually it started off with that one storefront. And then thankfully we were able to open up into 3 storefronts.
So how did the currant rolls become a staple pastry for your business? Because it's definitely like now, Allan's currant roll. So how did that end up?
Thank you. As a kid, I always loved coconut the most, but eventually, right, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
But eventually I started to, develop the flavoring, and I ended up loving the currants, and thankfully the community loved it as well. We didn't start out making currant rolls. It was other Caribbean pastries that we really started making first, as well as hard dough bread was really the focus.
Yes, yes.
But then through feedback and then family and friends sharing their thoughts and sharing what they loved, my grandpa ended up starting to develop the recipe for currant rolls along with my grandma. So that started off with a small process where they tested out different recipes, different ingredients, they tested out different machines in order to determine what would work best in order to kind of evolutionize the way we were running the product. And then eventually, just through really word in the community, we ended up being able to gain a strong following. And thankfully the community has been here. They've been very supportive, and we couldn't thank them enough.
The coconut rolls, I know, that's hands down like my favorite. Like my mother loved your currant rolls.
Thank you.
I think it's probably like as you get older, I never was a coffee person until now. So I used to only drink tea.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, I like coffee now. So.
And as a kid, I didn't know the difference between raisins and currants.
Right.
So, I kind of steered away. I knew what a coconut was.
Right.
I saw it come out the shell. I was very familiar with it.
Exactly. So what's the upcoming future for Allan's Bakery?
Yeah, so we're always trying to develop new things, new product, but one of the latest things we're doing is the bar and cafe. So it's always been a dream of my mom and her sisters to have a bar and a cafe. So they started that process, I want to say around 4 years ago, really determining what the space should look like, determining what recipes they would want to use. And we're hoping to be open by the end of this year or towards the beginning of next year, depending on what the stipulations are with COVID in place.
And that's going to be very exciting. So I'm definitely going to come and check that out too.
Happy to have you.
Right. So since we are coming into the holiday season, right? So I know you guys you're busy, just naturally just busy. Now that the holiday is coming up, and what would you say is like the most popular pastry that you guys will be pushing, like that you will have to make extra of, or during the holiday time?
The main thing that everyone comes for around Thanksgiving are the pies. So we'll have apple, we'll have pumpkin, and we'll have sweet potato. So they'll come here for that, and then occasionally we'll have some pecan pie depending on the day. That's really my Auntie Sharon's specialty, so she'll do that on the side for some customers that requested, And then currant rolls, of course, are definitely our #1 seller. We're always baking it throughout the day, but especially around the holidays. And then Christmas time, it'll really be focused on black cake and fruit cake. That's definitely a staple in the West Indian community or Caribbean community. Have to have the Caribbean rum cake and black cake on the table with some extra wine, extra rum inside.
Put it right on top, even after it's done.
Mm-hmm.
So Allan's Bakery, you know, it's been around for a long time. Even for me as a kid, I've seen, you know, been coming here. We got hardo bread, all of that. And now as the community is changing, how do you, like, what community events are you guys doing to keep yourself, like, acclimated in the area, you know, as it's progressively changing?
Yeah.
Like, what some community events?
So thankfully we have a few different children events that we always partake in every year around Christmas time. We'll usually donate money as well as product to fundraise. So we have Bless Our Kids, which is one of them. Then we have Trinam, and then St. Francis Church also has an event that we also partake in where we donate product to.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Christian.
No, thank you.
I really so grateful and like really thankful for you guys letting us come in and show your family business that has been around for years. This was amazing to showcase Brooklyn getting ready for the holidays. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.